I'm sitting in Ghana in a hotel in Accra, just trying to make sense of what happened on the last warrior race. So the last 3 warrior races I did, well, the last 2 except for the one I just did now, I did quite well actually. You can see here I was 13th overall and first in my category, which is 40 plus males. 1 hour 13 minutes. And then that was the end of last year, the end of 2023. Then on the first warrior for 2024, I came in on my category again first for the category, and again 13 was that also 13, and again 13 overall. 1 hour 18 minutes, but you can't compare the times to each other actually because the courses are completely different. And then now the one I just did now, at the end of 2024, I didn't do the Warrior 2 and number 3 because they were in Cape Town and Durban respectively. So I only did the Gauteng ones. So Warrior number 4, I came in 5th in my category and only 16th overall. So it's a little bit difficult to know why that happened, but if you look at the data, you can actually see why. I'll show you just now. Could be a couple of factors that can dictate how you're going to do. First of all, it's a 40 plus category, so it goes from when you're 40 until you're 49, and then you go over to the next category when you're 50. So when there's a year between them, between warrior races, then I'm a year older, but I'm still in the same category. So all the guys that was 39 in the previous warrior race is now in my category. So I'm now already 43. So there's guys 3 years younger than I am racing in the same category. And that's just going to get worse and worse as I get closer to the 50 category, obviously. When I'm 50, I'm going to be the young one in there, and then it will not be an issue. As I'm getting older, newer guys are getting in from the bottom, and age gap is getting larger as well. So, for instance, the person who won in my category this last warrior race, Egger Osov, don't know, but look how far ahead of me he was. I was 119, he was only 55 minutes. And how far ahead of the second person he was? So he was almost 14 minutes quicker than second place in our category, which is quite a lot. Now, I also did not have a very great year, actually. If you go and check on what happened, I traveled quite a lot during this year, which I didn't do so much last year. And my training has definitely suffered because of that. So if you look at this over the last year, for instance, at the end of last year, probably lucky strike that I did so well. But then since June, my training has lacked a lot. I traveled to Tanzania. There wasn't a lot of opportunity to exercise there. And then I went to Saudi for 2 weeks, and it was very, very hot. I tried to run one afternoon. It was just too hot. You couldn't run. I tried the next morning, still too hot. So there was not much training, and there's only 2 weeks in between at home. That doesn't really help much. So you can see how my endurance score has suffered due to that. You can also see on my training status how that has changed and how up and down it was in the last year. As you can see, there's no consistency on this. The green is productive, yellow is just maintaining, and then blue is just on recovery. So it's basically detraining, actually. And so you can see how inconsistent it is. There's no consistent part of me improving over the last couple of months due to the inconsistent training. And you can also see I was sick a few times. This year was while I was in Tanzania. I was sick. That's why I didn't train. And this is just now. I'm currently in Ghana. I was supposed to go run this morning. I was supposed to go run for 2 hours. I could only run for 30 minutes due to being sick. I had to come back. I had to turn around and come back. But that being said, if you go look at the data actually of that race, you will see that it's not really a lack of training that made me lose so many places. What happened in this race was that the same as the previous race, there's one obstacle. Let me show you that obstacle. The obstacle is a monkey bar obstacle. So what happens is you get at the obstacle and you have to basically swing from monkey bar to monkey bar, and there's some stuff in between that you need to do. And if you look at how I did it, I didn't make it last time. I made it to the end, but didn't make the bell at the end. And this has been an obstacle in my mind as well. You know, when I start this, I'm already stressed out about this obstacle. And although I have trained specifically for this, I didn't do it constantly. I didn't train constantly for this obstacle due to the traveling as well. So you can see I'm very hesitant to start actually. But when I do start, it doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look bad at all.
Yes. Go, Daddy.
You need to go through that hoop. You can't just continue on with the obstacle. You actually have to go through it. So you have to pick yourself up and go through, and then continue. Now, here I was worried because I'm quite high compared to the little thing I hang on. So I was scared if I'm going to just drop down, my weight is going to pull me down onto the ground. So again, I was very hesitant to go on. So I lost a lot of time on this. You know, I lost a couple of minutes. We can check now how much time I lost on it actually.
Oh! Yes.
But we can see the second half of that obstacle when I did finally get to that part again. This is all good. Okay, now you have to go through the ring and get to the end. Now there's these bars you hang on. I think there's about 3 of them after the ring.
Oh! Yes, Daddy.
And after the 3 bars, there is one one little pole that you have to hang on. And my grip wasn't strong enough for that, or the pole was too slippery. That first pole is also a lot thicker than the rest, so that's quite a strong grip you need to hang on to that one. So now, because I did not make this obstacle, what happens is that guy cuts off. You've got two bands on your arm, and you need to finish this race with both bands still intact. Otherwise, you can't get on the podium. Now, because I didn't make this obstacle, you would cut off the one band, and then what will happen is at this next obstacle, which is just a nice slide that you go down. At the end of it, when you're done with it, there's a detour you need to take. If you lost one of your bands, they give you your band back, but you need to do a detour. You need to run the extra part that the other guys do not run. So we'll see now, after I've done this, when I got out of the water, that guy in the red t-shirt, he checks the bands. So I come up to him and I say, listen, I lost one band. So he gives me a band back and tells me I have to run that way. Now I'll quickly show you on this course here. If we open this up. So this is where that water slide is. So after you have gone through the water slide, when you get your band back, instead of running just this little piece to the end, which is all that's left, you have to go down again all this way, all the way through here, through there, towards that again, and then you can pass to go. Then you can pass to the end. Now, if I check my times when I got there the first time, so let's see when I got there the first time was, there I go, that loop once. There I got to the water slides at 1 hour, 3 minutes. Then I started that loop again. And I got back to the water slide at 1:15. So I wasted 12 minutes just because I couldn't do that obstacle. So first of all, I took a lot of time doing that obstacle. Then secondly, I didn't make the obstacle. So I wasted all that time of trying it, didn't make it, had to add on 12 minutes to my time. So if I did make that obstacle, even if I took all the time I took on it and made it, I would have finished 12 minutes earlier, which would have put me in second place. So here's the first 40 plus person. He was 1 hour 9 minutes. I was 1 hour 19 minutes. So I was only 10 minutes behind the second place person. So I should have been in second place if I just made that obstacle. So even with looking at my fitness, which is up and down and not as it should be, if you look at the data, you can see that the reason I didn't do well in this warrior race was because of that one obstacle that is plaguing my mind, and I wasn't prepared for that one. If I just did that one correctly and finished it nicely, I would have been in second place. So I don't know, this person who is actually third overall and first in our category, I don't know who that is. That guy did a good job. Only 55 minutes on that course is very, very, very good. Very well done, actually. So that's all. I just wanted to put my thoughts for myself in a video on what I think happened on Warrior number 4 2024. Thanks for watching.